Other than tech billionaires, who else? Top 4 billionaire stories. We all know that the tech company owners and founders have always been on the top 5 list of billionaires each year for the past 2 decades at least. But is tech the only industry that has billionaires? Of course not. So here are top 4 current non-tech billionaires, and here's a little bit about their inspiring life stories. Before we get started, let me know in the comments below who is your favorite billionaire and why. Hit the like button, sub button, bell button while you're down there. Let's go. Number 4, Michael Bloomberg with a net worth of $59 billion in 2021. Michael Bloomberg's full name is Michael Rubens Bloomberg and was born in Medford, Massachusetts on February 14, 1942. He's a businessman and politician from the United States who built a financial data service corporation and served as the mayor of New York City from 2002 to 2013. Bloomberg's mother was a secretary and his father, a Polish immigrant, was a bookkeeper. He earned his MBA from Harvard University in 1966 and went to work for the Salomon Brothers, an investment bank, after studying engineering at Johns Hopkins University. Within 15 years, he has risen through the ranks to become a partner and was in charge of the firm's block trading activities. When Salomon was let off when the company was acquired by another business in 1981, Bloomberg's $10 million partnership buyout gave him the funds he needed to start the Innovative Market Systems, a financial data service firm, in 1982. The rebranded Bloomberg LP has become a global leader in a financial data service 20 years later. The Bloomberg Computer Terminal, a comprehensive financial news and information source, was critical to the company's success. Bloomberg also earned the Bloomberg Business Newswire service, the New York City news radio station WBBR, and the Bloomberg Television. Bloomberg received various awards, including the Mary Woodward Lasker Award for Public Service in 2009. He was appointed an honorary knight commander of the British Empire in 2014. Number 3, Zhang Shashan with a net worth of $68.9 billion. Zhang was born in 1954 in Hangzhou, China's easternmost city. According to a Chinese media story about the paper, he failed his college admission examinations twice before enrolling in the Open University of China in the late 1970s. In 1980, Zhang worked as a reporter. He left after a 5-year stay to a start of a bottled water distribution company in Hainan, a southern Chinese island state. According to Nangfu, Spring 22's practice for an initial public offering, he launched Yangshin Zhangtang, a health goods brand, in March 1993, and Nangfu Spring, a beverage brand, in September 1996. In September 2020, Nangfu began trading on the Hong Kong stock market. In 2001, he bought a controlling interest in Beijing Wantan Biological Pharmaceutical Enterprise. In April 2020, the medical goods firm went public on Shanghai stock market. According to the corporate filing, Zhang departed a Wantan board of directors in January 2021, claiming personal reasons. On the other hand, Asia's newest richest man prefers to remain anonymous. According to Bloomberg, Zhang is a nickname as the Lone Wolf, since he's not active in politics and seldom makes public appearances or speaks to the media. This is everything we know about Zhang Wantan. Zhang was a chairman of 2 companies, Nangfu Spring, a bottled water firm, and Beijing's Wantan Biological Pharma Enterprise, a vaccine manufacturer that develops COVID-19 test kits and working on a vaccine for the virus. In 2019, the 2 firms recorded a combined revenue of more than $3.6 billion. According to Bloomberg, Zhang's bottled water firm, in which he owns an 84% share, is the source of the majority of his riches. Bottled Wantan is owned by him to the tune of 75%. Zhang beat Indian tycoon Mukesh Ambani to become Asia's wealthiest man in December. Ambani famously resides with his family in a 27-story tower in Mumbai with 3 helicopter pads and subterranean parking for 160 automobiles, which drew a flurry of worldwide media interest when it was completed in 2010. Formerly China's richest man, Jack Ma, has also attracted notice for his lavish real estate purchases, including a $23 million house in upstate New York and reputed a $191 million mansion in Hong Kong. On the other hand, who is now worth more than billions of dollars, Zhang has never interested in investing in real estate. He resides in Hangzhou, a city of over 10 million people in eastern China, famed for his stunning terrain as well as trade center. According to CNN Business, the city has at least 32 billionaires, and that includes Jack Ma. Because he's not active in politics or business, Zhang is known in China as a lone wolf. According to Chinese tabloid The Paper, he seldom makes public appearances or speaks to the media. According to the paper, Zhang reportedly declared, "I am a lonely person and I don't care what my colleagues are doing or thinking." Perhaps Zhang's reclusive personality stems from his modest beginnings. According to Bloomberg, Zhang dropped out of primary school and worked as a construction worker until landing a job as a newspaper writer in the 1980s. In 1983, Zhang began working for Zhejiang Daily, where he covered agriculture. According to the French daily Le Monde, after roughly 5 years, he began to experiment with other economic endeavors, including starting a private newspaper, farming mushrooms, and selling curtains. Later, he formed Zhejiang Tan Co., a pharmaceutical firm that is now Beijing Wantan Holding Company. Now includes Spring was created by Zhang in 1996. Number 2, Armancio Ortega, worth a net worth of $77 billion in 2021. Armancio Ortega Guyana was born in March 28, 1936 in Basdono, Arbas, Spain. Is a Spanish fashion executive and the founder of Spanish apparel merchandisers Inditex, which includes the Zara chain of stores. Ortega got his start in the garment industry as a delivery boy for a men's short store, as an assistant in a tailor shop as a teenager in Cora, North Spain. Jobs that exposed him to the expenses of making and distributing garments directly to clients. He eventually operated a clothes business that catered to an affluent clientele similar to the men's shirt store. Ortega recognized the opportunity to broaden his clientele base by employing less expensive materials and more efficient manufacturing techniques, as well as offering clothing at cheap prices. Confesias Goa, a bathrobe company he created in 1963, was the first to use this method. In 1975, Ortega opened the first Zara ready-to-wear apparel store in Korea and quickly became not just a globally recognized brand, but also the flagship holding company of Inditex, which he formed 10 years later. In 2008, he remained the principal owner of the holding company, which includes, in addition to Zara, the brands Stradivarius, Pull&Bear, UT, Massimo Dutti, and Osho. Inditex operations were based on the so-called fast fashion concept. Trend spotters picked up design ideas at fashion shows. In-house designers copied the best concepts, and Inditex highly efficient manufacturing operations, the majority of which were based in Spain, produced to deliver new fashions to stores within a few weeks after spotted on the fashion roadways. Inditex produced 2/3 of its clothes in Spain and neighboring countries at a time when other apparel manufacturers outsourced production to China and other low-cost places. Zara's new arrivals were not confined to the typical fashion season, the fall, winter, spring, summer. Instead, they were received on a weekly basis all year. Styles that didn't sell were swiftly taken off the shelves. Customers love the fast fashion idea so much that Zara, which now has over 1,000 stores globally, spent very little money on advertising. Despite its enormous worldwide success in an industry that thrived on public images and exposure, Zara avoided the press and led a very quiet existence. Despite the fact that its net worth has increased by $6 billion on the day of the Inditex initial public offering in 2001, Ortega allegedly maintained a regular schedule and ate lunch in the corporate cafeteria. Inditex passed H&M, world's largest fashion retailer, in 2008, 4,000 outlets in 70 countries. Meanwhile, Ortega has risen to become the world's wealthiest people. Now, he stood down as the chairman of Inditex's 2000 label, but remained active in the firm and kept a controlling interest. Number 1, Bernard Arnault, with an estimated fortune of $150 billion in 2021. Arnault was born in March 5th, 1949, in Roubaix, France. He's a French businessman who's best known as the chairman of CEO of LVMH, Mott Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, SA, and the world's large luxurious goods firm. Arnault has earned his engineering degree in École Polytechnique in Paris. He took over his father's construction company, Fervat Sevilla, in 1971. He renamed the firm Fernand Inc. and turned its concentration to real estate 8 years later. Arnault and Antoine Bermy, a managing partner of the French bank Lazare Ferris & Co., financed $80 million needed to Bauzac Saint-Thérèse, a bankrupt textile firm that heard the Christian Dior designer label, plus $15 million of his own money. The company's chairman, Henry Raka, asked Arnault to invest in LVMH in 1987. Arnault ousted Récamier in 1990 and began to sweep a slew of fashion companies into the LVMH fold, including Christian Lacroix, Givenchy, Kizno, the leather goods companies Loewe, Celine, and Berluti, the jewelry Fred Jeweler, the DFS Group, and many more. The Pope of fashion was born. Arnault continues to purchase luxury companies, including Fendi of Italy in 2003, the renowned French department store La Semeriti in 2010, Bulgari, Italy 2011, and Tiffany & Co. in the United States in 2021. He's also commissioned Canadian architect Frank Gehry to construct the foundation of Louis Vuitton. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope you learned a thing or two and of course enjoy it. It's a labor of love to share this kind of knowledge. So if you want to see more content like this one, hit the like button, sub button, and bell button. See you next time.